Welcome everyone to another episode of Price Targets with your host Bitcoin Jack. Welcome back. It's Wednesday. We're going to be keeping this video, I think, relatively short. It's pretty hard to say where Bitcoin is going to go. I mean, generally my assumption has been and has remained bullish, but we still have to kind of wait for our structures to break, right? And I have some ideas on ETH, but same applies right there. There's just a little bit of a lull right here. I think it's wise to reduce some exposure and wait for confirmation. We could probably see some upside, downside on both ETH and BTC. So we're going to have a look at that later. First, your attention for ECOS. They're a regulatory compliant exchange. Really cool exchange. It's been a pleasure to work with them, and they're sponsoring this content. So if you like this content, please check out the link in the description below and in the watermark, and let me know what you think. So back to Bitcoin. We're still trapped by the red line. We've tested it this morning, then had a little bit of a sell-off into the trend line that developed, and we broke out of. We've retested the previous all-time high and currently hovering above it. But you know, if we look at lower time frames, it just becomes apparent that this could go quite a few ways, right? We have this fake out to the upside. It's now resistance. If we manage to smash that, I think that we will get a trigger to the upside. Ideally, we see a decision between now and April 6th, April 5th-ish. So basically, we grab a vertical line somewhere around here. It's not unlikely for price to range a little bit up here, and if the bullish continuation happens, we really want to see our triggers above these two levels, right? The good thing, I think, is that right here we haven't raided the stops. That could still happen, obviously, but we haven't done it straight away, so there's some sellers still here, and I think it's always good to have sellers before any upside can really work out. Funding has been going up a little bit slightly. Talked about that on Twitter. Into resistance, higher funding generally causes these kind of sell-offs, and even bigger ones. So I'm still cautious. This could still go many ways. Technically, I find it highly unlikely that we've macro topped, but this still becomes a tricky situation. So I'm going to be patient, moving slowly. I think all the upside targets, if we get our triggers to the upside, still remain the same. If we look at the previous video, we saw this chart right here, and it's another retest of the high. It could get rejected, and then we probably come back down into possibly the 55, 56 region, 54, and maybe even like the range low. So I'm going to be cautious, sell at resistance, bid supports, and if we break below here, I think that's a bad signal. And then I think we're gonna, reach into 48 at least. Not really sure if these lows here at 46 are safe. It would be, I think we can argue they should be safe if this is a bullish development, and bidding should occur around the $1 trillion market cap range, which is also our range low. I think that kind of summarizes my view on Bitcoin. I don't want to make too many assumptions. I think we go up. That's my bet. Managing risk and waiting for triggers. I think, you know, this entire structure though is another confirmation of the bullish ID. Trend line of a significant pivot here that made a new low into significant demand range, broke out of it, retested it, horizontal level. So probably gotta be a little bit patient and see a reaction between now and the 5th to the upside. And then ETH, we talked about how, you know, I wanted to see the blue box break down to the downside, and it marginally did so. And then I wanted to see the blue box reclaimed. Although this has been super small, not a lot of volume. Of course, this is a bit wrecked, so we can have a look at ETH BTC, for example, on Binance, see if it shows any difference. And we can see here there is slight uptick in volume as we rated these levels and reclaimed them. But considering the fact that Bitcoin might get really volatile, it's probably best just to, you know, give this a little bit of breathing room. It wouldn't surprise me to see ETH come up all the way up here and then come back down here again, and then have a larger rate to the downside before anything to the upside happens. So, you know, I want to see more volume on a capitulation kind of move, and then a strong spring. And this just has me, you know, it could turn bullish, but it's not the most convincing thing I've seen on Bitcoin so far, on ETH so far. I think that kind of summarizes it. It's a pretty short video, 7 minutes. One thing to add is that CME will launch Bitcoin minis, basically futures that are of a smaller size. So right now, CME has futures the size of 5 Bitcoin, and this will reduce that. So essentially what I'm expecting is that we will see smaller retail brokers offer Bitcoin futures to their clients, which I mean is a great development, but it also means that with more retail access, that's going to cause some volatility one way or the other way, depending on how retail is going to position themselves as these brokers implement and start offering these mini futures on to their clients. So that's something to keep an eye on. I think they're launching on the 5th or the 3rd or the 4th of May. You'll have to look that up, and hopefully that will give us a little bit of an idea by then if the market is coming into a top of the cycle. I'm not really sure if that's going to be the case, but we'll reevaluate later. I think that's it. Patience, let things develop here. It's not really worth paying a ton of fees as we just keep ranging, especially after, you know, we made some profit of the lows here, and just continue to wait. I think, you know, if right now with the higher funding, you're just ranging, not gaining anything. You're just, you know, giving away your P&L, and we'll you know, have a better chance of making that if we just kind of wait for the structure to break to the upside or confirm downside. I hope that made sense, and I'll catch you on Sunday. Peace.